In this tutorial I will discuss Numpy random. So with the help of a random module we can generate random numbers, and how we can generate different random numbers of one-dimensional array and two-dimensional array I will discuss. So first of all, let's generate random numbers, generate 5 random numbers from 0 to 100. So for that, what I will do, from Numpy I will import random, and then I will use random dot rand int, and here I will pass 100 and size is 5, and then I will print x. So let's run this cell. So while it is connecting to the Python 3 Google Compute Engine, so first time it will take some time, and you can see a random one-dimensional array has been generated. And if you rerun this cell, you can see the different values, and if here I change the value from 100 to 200, you can see now my array will have the values up to the from 0 to 200, and if I change here I will get the one-dimensional array values from 0 to 100. Okay, now let's create a new code, and this time I will create a two-dimensional array. So generate 2D array with 3 rows. You can for 4 rows, and each row will be having 3 numbers. So each row will have, let's say, 3 numbers from 0 to 50. So how we will do? So I will use random dot rand int, and here I will pass 50 because I want numbers from 0 to 50, and size here I will pass, actually I want 4 rows, so 4 rows, and each row will have 3 numbers, so 4 comma 3, and let's print the y and run this cell, and you can see there are 4 rows and the values are from 0 to 50, and each row has a 3 numbers. So let's change it. Now I will have 5 rows, and each row will have 4 values, and I want to generate random numbers between 0 and let's say 100. So I will change 100 here and run the cell, and you can see now I have two-dimensional array with 5 row, and each row will have 4 numbers from 0 to 100. Okay, so next, so till now I have generated integers. So if I want to generate uh, floating point numbers, so what I will do, it's very simple. So I will just write random dot rand. For generating the integer values I use rand int, and for generating the float values I will use rand, and here I will pass 5 values. So let me write in the comment. So generate 5 floating point values. So when I run this cell, okay, so I need to print it. So print x, and now run this cell, and you can see there are 5 floating point values. So for generating the floating point value, simply use rand function, and for generating the integer values, you have to use rand int. So this is the one-dimensional array that I have generated. Similarly, you can generate a two-dimensional array. So now I will generate 2D array of floating point values, and 4 rows, and each row will have 3 values, let's say. For that we will use again random.rand, and here we will pass the 4 comma 3. It means 4 rows and each row have 3 values. And let's print y. So run this cell, and you can see now I have the random values, floating random values, and 4 rows, and in each row I have 3 values. So you can change the number of rows and number of values from here. So it's very simple to generate the random values, to generate the random integer value, and to generate the random floating values. It's very easy. Now we will generate random numbers from array. So suppose we have a array, and suppose there are some values, and I want to select any random value from this array. So for that, what I will do, simply use random dot choice, and here pass the array, and then print the x. So when you run this cell, you can see it has just selected this value randomly from this array. So let's rerun this cell. You can see this time it has selected 23. So if you give more values, it will select a random value from this array. So this way we can select a random value from array. And similarly we can also specify the size here. So let me copy here and create new code and paste it here. And now what I want to give the size also. So size is 2,3, and let's add some values to this array. So these are the values, and when I run this cell, you can see it has selected the random values from this array, and size is 2,3. It means there are 2 rows, and each row has 3 values. So you can also change it. So 3,4, and you can see that it has selected the random values from this array. So this way we can choose the random values from a array, and we can also uh, print the random values in two-dimensional array. So that's all. So in this tutorial I have discussed how you can generate the random integer, how you can generate two-dimensional array with a random integer, how you can generate a one-dimensional array with a random floating point value, two-dimensional array with random floating point values, and how you can select a random value from a particular array. That's all. Thank you.